morning, guitar. Today we are continuing on page 13. We're going to talk about music in two parts. We're specifically looking at this French folk song, Au de la Lune, at number 24. So what we mean by two parts is this is a duet, and a duet is a song that has two parts that can be played together. Both parts of the following duet, or practice both parts of the following duet, as it says. And what we're going to do is look at one part at a time and even explore how we can use chords to make a third part or a fourth part. There's all kinds of things that we can do with this kind of thing. So the first thing to know is that this long bar line that goes between the two staves connects these two staves to happen simultaneously, right? And so we call that a system. So even though it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines, there really isn't. What we want to do is follow the music where it says part 1. So we have line 1, and we've got to go down to the next one. This is line 2, part 1. This is line 3 of part 1, and this is line 4 of part 1. And so what we would do if we played just the lines that have the number 1 next to it, we would see or hear that this is a 4-line song. The same is true now for part 2. We read the bottom staff of each system. Part 2, this is line 1. Part 2, this is line 2. Part 2, this is line 3. And part 2, this is line 4. So let's take a quick look at part 1. What we're going to do is, and you know what? To maybe try and make this work, what we can try and do, let's see if we're gonna, we don't want to play that one. We don't want to play this one. I'm just reading part 1. Okay. So I'm going to read here, 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 and here. So what I should see is the notes C, 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 D, E, half note, D, C, E, D, D, C. Second line. C, 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 D, E, D, C, E, D, D, C. Oh, look at that. They're exactly the same. Line 3, D, 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 A, D, C, B, A, G. So these are different. And the last line, C, 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 D, E, D, C, E, D, D, C. It was the same as the first two. So what we see is that line 1, 2, and 4 are exactly the same, and line 3 is unique. So of all the things happening in part 1, even though it's a 4-line song, and it looks so big across 8 lines because of the systems, there's actually only 2 lines of unique music, line 1 and line 3. Those are the unique lines. Lines 2 and 4 are repeats of what already happened in line 1. Let's take a listen to part 1, but at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and record it so that way we can hear when the time comes what a 2-part would sound like. So here's my metronome. Two, line 1. Now second line. I'm going to go to the third line. And now to the last line. Stop. All right, so that was part 1. Let's take a look now at part 2. And so what I'll do is I'm going to grab these guys over here. I'm going to blank out line 1. Now we're not playing line 1. Now we're playing, or we're not playing part 1. We're playing part 2. And so here I see E, 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 F, G, F, E, G, F, F, E. E, 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 F, G, F, E, G, F, F, E. So just the same. I wonder if that's going to be the same for the fourth line like we had with that. E, E, F, G, right? F, E, G, F, F, E. And it is. Look at that. Line 1, 2, and 4 are the same. Is line 3 going to be unique like it was with part 1? Let's check it out. A, B, C. That's already very different. C, A, B, C, B. But at least the rhythm is the same. We see the pattern of quarter note, half note, quarter note, whole note. Quarter notes, half notes, quarter notes, whole note. Quarter notes, half notes, quarter notes, whole note. Quarter notes, half note, quarter notes, whole note. Now I'm going to play part 2 by itself so we can see and hear what that sounds like. Okay. 1, 2, here it goes. Second line. Now third line. And last line. And stop. All right. So I played part 1 and I played part 2. Now we know that if we were playing this with another person, or if you did what I just did and played it into a recording software or a DAW, digital audio workstation, we would hear both these parts at the same time. And that's what I want to do right now is I'm going to take this one off mute, and I'd like for us to listen to what those parts, remember this was part 1 of the song, and this was part 2. Let's listen to what those sound like, and I'll bring up the music as well. And so that was what both parts together sound like. Now, if I wanted to add it in chords, for example, let me make this one live over here and play those chords parts. That's also something I could do, and I can make this a 3-part song. Add a little bit of effects to that. And I can even improvise some things to it. Let's see how, if I make up a 3rd part to the song, how that would sound. And so now that was me making up a part to the chords, because really when there's chords written in these things, it's not telling you anything specific to do. How would all three of those parts sound together without the clicking metronome, but just as a song? This is now a duet that's been turned into a trio. Let's take a listen. And that's an example of how we take a piece of music that was meant for 2 parts with chords and make it into 3 parts. This is how the song sounds. I know it looks like a lot of music that's happening, but again, as we said, it's only 4 lines. This was a system. These staves were being heard simultaneously.